I'm about to say something that's going to make me incredibly unpopular, and that is that climate change is a load of bollocks. Well, actually, it's not a load of bollocks because the climate is changing. It always has changed and it always will change. It goes through different stages in its cycle. We're actually at the moment coming out of an ice age, believe it or not. There have been times on the Earth that there have been no polar ice caps, many times in fact, and we are in fact coming out of an ice age right now. So yes, it's natural that the temperature should be rising. There's also many other factors like the position of the Earth in its elliptical orbit of the Sun, and lots of other different things, volcanic eruptions, all this sort of stuff. All these things change the temperature on Earth. Always has done, always will do. Now let's talk about carbon dioxide. Did you know that carbon dioxide makes up 0.04% of Earth's atmosphere? And of that 0.04% carbon dioxide, 97% of that is produced naturally through plants rotting and animal farts, those damn cows, what else? Volcanic eruptions, all these things, naturally produced carbon dioxide. Now, what's left over? What is made by mankind? 3%. So 3% of that 0.04% is man-made. That's a very, very tiny number. Now let's make it even a smaller number. So that of that 3% of the 0.04%, 1% of the 3% of the 0.04%, in fact less than 1%, is actually produced by us here in jolly old England. So as you can imagine, what we're doing here in this country isn't making two shits of a difference. Yet our government tax us and try to make us net zero. Now, in my opinion, call me a conspiracy theorist, mainly because I am a massive one. I mean, God, look, I'm wearing a t-shirt that says Majestic 12 on it. But all they're doing is using the climate crisis, climate change, as a way of controlling people. And that's exactly what it is. It's about control. It's the same COVID playbook, COVID lockdown playbook, and they're going to do the same thing again. We are freaking out right now about the fact that we've had 3 days of warm weather, and yes, it has been unseasonably hot. Well, no, it hasn't actually. It's just been a couple of degrees hotter than it normally is, but it's no big deal. But it hasn't been like this for months on end. You talk to me when we've had 3 months of 35-degree heat and no respite from it, and I might start listening. But at the moment, we've just had 3 or 4 really nice days of summer weather. Next week, it's raining and back to early 20s. And also, while we're getting unseasonably hot weather here, other parts of the world are colder than they normally are this time of year. You see what I mean? It's a balance. Yeah? Things get hot, other things get cold. It's the way that it works. Think of it like this. Think of your fridge, how your fridge gets really cold on the inside. How does it get cold? Well, it has a radiator essentially on the back that's creating heat. That gives off heat. So there's a heat exchange, cold to hot. Hot air comes out of the back and the cold air comes in the middle. So Earth is no different. It's one part is hotter than usual, another part, generally speaking, is cooler than usual. That's just the way that it works. That's the flow. And we've also got currents and all these sorts of wonderful things that do lots of different things to change the weather. High pressure, low pressure. But is it man-made? No, it is not. Are we polluting our atmosphere? Yes, I do believe we are. Are there things that we're expelling into our atmosphere that aren't particularly nice for people to breathe in and all that sort of stuff? Yes, absolutely. Should we be cleaning up our act? Absolutely. But is what's happening right now a result of burning fossil fuels? Let me explain fossil fuels to you actually for a second, because I think there's a lot of people out there who think that we're creating all this extra carbon and putting it in the air, but that's simply not the case. All the carbon that is on Earth now has existed the whole time Earth has been there. We're not making new carbon, okay? Through the life cycle of a tree or a plant, it absorbs the carbon dioxide. It lives off it actually. That's why actually we're living in one of the most lush periods of the history of the Earth, because of that sweet spot of carbon dioxide in the air, which means that plant life can flourish. But a tree, when it breathes in the carbon and it expels oxygen, what it does is it stores that carbon in it. And then when you burn that tree, that carbon that was already in the atmosphere before that it's stored is burnt and then released back into the atmosphere. Again, it's a cycle. We're not creating more carbon, we are redistributing it. Yeah? Everything on Earth is a cycle, it's a balance. It's a closed off unit. You can't create more of something that didn't exist before. All the water on this planet has always been here. Same amount, no more, no less. Apart from maybe what they've taken up into the International Space Station. It doesn't leave. Also, it doesn't get created. Same as carbon. Carbon is always there. It will always be there. It just depends on how it's redistributed. Okay, so if everybody could stop freaking out about the impending doom of humanity, that would be great. Unless, of course, you want to talk about the pole shift and electromagnetic rays coming off the sun. But that's a conversation for another day. Take care. Bye-bye now.